So this is outside zone from UConn, pretty extremely common run concept. The basic fundamental is the offensive line is reach blocking the players in their play side gap. So this play is going to be run to the left for UConn. So the offensive linemen are identifying the defensive linemen in their play side gap. They're trying to get control of their play side shoulder and essentially pin them back to the inside. So that's the fundamentals of the offensive play here. State is in a true one gap run coverage here. So you're going to get a lag technique from the defensive tackle, and you're trying to get penetration from the ends and the linebackers. So in a one gap, right, every player has a single gap that they're covering. So what's interesting about this play is one thing the State would do a decent amount is they would stunt. So Peyton Wilson is actually up here, and the guy we're going to watch on this play is Devon Betty. So Wilson's run fit looks like Wilson is the edge defender here. He's going to have the D gap, but he's actually going to have the C gap outside of the tackle, and Devon Betty is actually going to be responsible for the D gap. So when the play starts, the D gap, sorry. So when the play starts, the first thing you're going to see is Betty haul butt over there because he is the edge defender on this play. And so UConn is going to chip Wilson, so they have a chance to double team Peyton Wilson here. So if you don't have anybody in your play side gap, you're looking to double and then release upfield. And they're going to be able to chip Peyton Wilson with the tight end, who's then going to release upfield. And that's when the critical moment in this play happens. So we'll start this off and you'll see that happen. Ironically, the tight end is Justin Jolie, who now plays for NC State. But things are going to start off here. So watch Peyton Wilson at the top of the screen. He's going to come down. He's going to come down like that. We're talking about Betty's going to flow over here. Jolie's going to chip him and then release upfield. And I think 71 here, the left tackle for UConn, is going to try and reach block Peyton Wilson. So he's going to get outside and try and pin him back to the inside. And this is actually going to develop really, really well for UConn. They actually blocked really, really well in this game. State defensive line. This was probably their worst game of the year. So 71 is going to get that edge pretty good. So watch from there. Jolie's going to release to Betty. Now Betty right there is in a bad spot, but he beats Jolie, and that's what changes this whole play here. So you can see there's a pretty good seal right here for UConn. This back definitely has leverage over any backside pursuit. This play wants to go here, and it almost does. But Betty beating this changes the play. So if the play gets there, this is all State has in run support now. Sean Brown and Shaheem battle, and there's a good chance that this play gets all the way up, at least for a first down. But because Betty was able to beat that, he has a chance to make this play, and he's going to squeeze it down to the inside and keep it from getting to the edge there. So that was kind of the last blocker out there was, I think it was 52, which I think is the left guard for UConn. Maybe that's 62, I don't know. The picture's kind of grainy, but so, you can see Betty here, though, gets into that situation and immediately gets to the outside to control the edge. And so that pins this play back in here, which allows Scott and Van on the backside to catch up to it. Whereas if it went out here and this guy was able to pin Betty down, this is off to the races. This is probably going to be a first down. These guys now have to make a tackle in space. But that doesn't happen because Betty was able to beat Justin Jolie one-on-one there and then squeeze this down, and then you'll see what happens from there. Davin Van, Jalen Scott, 1 and 2, make the tackle. 3-yard gain. So that was a really, really good linebacker play from Devon Betty and a big one-on-one win on the releasing tight end.